Hey guys, my name's Crystal Kenny, and I'm in love with creating. All things artistic and imagination involved. I'm an American girl who chased her creative dreams all the way to Paris, France, making a living using photography. This podcast takes you inside the stories of all the artsy folks I've met along the way and gives you that extra push to discover your creative gifts. The desire to create is deeply inside each and every one of us, and I give you the tools and inspiration to find a new way of living a more creative life. This is La Vie Creative, the podcast. Today on the show, I interviewed Crystal Petit. She came to France on a Fulbright scholarship, but built a music career instead of following a conventional path. She wears multiple hats in the industry. We talk all about what her life's been like in France and raising twins. Okay, so welcome to the show, Crystal. How are you?
I am good. It is my birthday today.
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
I'm so excited to talk to you today. You came here on a Fulbright grant. Tell us more about that.
I did. That was a stalling mechanism. I'll get to that in a second. But I came here initially. I came to Dijon. Went to Dijon, studied abroad for a trimester, and I joined the school band because I love to sing and I wanted to be deeply into the French culture versus when I had spent a summer in Martinique and learned Creole.
Wow.
And everybody, of course, mistook me for Martiniquaise. And I loved it. I loved my months there, but I was like, look, my minor is in French. I love the French language so much. I need to learn it appropriately. So I went to Dijon and I had a host family that spoke no English. It was perfect. I joined the school band. The bass player ended up becoming my husband of 22 years.
Wow.
We are recently divorced.
Wow.
He's like my neighbor. But yeah, and so I went back to school at Spelman College. I love you, Spelman. And just provided me with so many opportunities. I had gone on to be a Wall Street summer intern two times in a row, which was great. And I studied econ. I was on the econ track, finance, which is why I was at the business school of Dijon, if I back it up a little bit. And I've always had an artistic streak. I come from gospel music. I come from an auntie who came out with an album in the 80s and was signed to Columbia Records. And I just always had that streak. I sang in the kids choir, but I was also really interested in making money. I'm just going to be honest. I liked money. I had a lemonade stand. I sold stuff at my mom and dad's garage sale. I used to charge my girlfriends and all friends, a nickel to hear me sing on the playground. I was a hustler. Unlike my own kids, but that's a different story. But yeah, I finished school. I got accepted into Harvard Law because I didn't know where to take it. I just knew I didn't want to be in such a constrained and serious environment. So I applied there, which was crazy. That was mostly to make my parents happy. But I also got a job offer for JP Morgan as a financial analyst. But something crazy happened. My cousin Stacy, who is just my heart, my pride and my joy, she signed me up for a show called Pop Stars, the original Pop Stars from 2000. And so I was a contestant there for a long time and I got to fly out to LA. I spent a while there and just being with the coaches of people like Celine Dion and Michael Jackson's choreographer and this person's stylist. And, not knowing what was to become of this show because you didn't really have those types of reality shows and you definitely didn't have America's, Got Talent and American Idol. You didn't have it. So I didn't take it so seriously. So I was really myself and kept going further and further and then got cut towards the end. But the experience it had marked me in a good way too much to even think about going to either law school or Wall Street. So what did I do? I applied for a Fulbright and that's where the stalling mechanism came in. I got it. And I came here in 2000 and 6 months became 26 years this year. will be 26
Wow.
years.
Oh my goodness. That's wild. What a journey. I mean, those are
It's
two
crazy.
very different things,
They
like
sure
econ
are.
and music.
Yeah, so different.
Wow, but it sounds fantastic. And to be on one of those pop shows before it was ever even a thing and the people you got to work with, that's incredible.
It was incredible, but it was also surreal because when they aired it, I was living in France. So I was getting, this is before social media. I was getting emails, old school emails, Hotmail and all that saying, "Oh my God, cousin, I see you on TV." I'm like, "What are they talking about? I hope you make it." And I'm like, "Don't they know I'm in Paris?" I signed an NDA. And so I couldn't say anything, but because I'm such a goody two shoes, I followed the rules. I now have regrets because all those girls were taking pictures and I have no proof except like an old account that has found me, which is very sweet on Instagram, Pop Stars, the original Pop Stars. But yeah, it was a phenomenal experience. And again, seeing that world, which is a hard world, the world of entertainment. Finance is also very hard, to be honest, particularly working on Wall Street. That's an environment that did not suit well with me. It's two different things, but I had to choose my hard, if you will. And I went towards music. And so Pop Stars was great, but I didn't live it in real time. And so now 26 years later, they're re-airing certain things and I get to see myself. I'm like, "Oh, she was so cute. Oh, that's adorable."
It's like going back in time. I love that.
Yeah, it's my own time capsule. It's pretty cool.
So, how did your family and friends react to you choosing a music career over a more traditional career?
Here's the thing. So I, again, was always very, very into my grades. I thrived on getting straight A's and being, on the honor roll, all of these different things. And I also thrived in the different shows that we would have at Glee Club. And so my parents knew I had both and they would hear me singing and I was known as the little girl who sings on her swing and the whole neighborhood could hear her and I would get requests. So my parents were familiar with that, but they looked at me like I had four heads when I got into all of these universities, including Spelman. And I said, "Well, I'm just going to do something music oriented." And they were like, "No. Here's the deal. Get through Spelman and you can do what you want." So I thrived. I had the most amazing time of my life. To this day, I am just connected to my wonderful school and all my Spelman sisters. I got through. I got the degree and I looked at my dad. I was like, "So you said I could do what I wanted to do." He's like, "You sure can, because you've proven to me that you are resilient and you will thrive in any sort of domain. So I have my full trust in you." And this is a lieutenant colonel, very strict military dad, very strict. You know what I mean? Knows nothing about music. And my mom was a little bit softer around the edges, but she just wanted her little girl to do well in life. So the older generation kind of looked at me and side-eyed me, wished me well. But the younger generation, like my cousins and stuff, who really knew how much I loved entertaining, being a class clown or making up theater pieces, they knew that. So they were like, "Okay, so Crystal, she's going to give it a try and she's going to do her best at least to succeed." So, yeah.
That's fantastic. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that, you showed them you can do this, but you can also do that, and to have a military dad support you. Wow, that's huge.
Definitely.
So how has your relationship with music evolved over the last 2 decades?
Well, that is a very, very, I love that question. Why? Because I am Gen X. I have seen so many iterations of the music business. I came from singing in bars, working hard to get that album to be heard by a music exec, to now relying, not myself, but the artists I work with, relying on likes and followers, and even listening to my kids' conversation yesterday. They had some of their friends over. My twins are 13. And I heard them say, to themselves, "Oh, she's a superstar," to one of the artists. "She's got X amount of followers." And I just turned to them. I was just like, "Oh my God, this is such a different way of seeing things versus how I knew it." So I have a very deep appreciation for, now I'm dating myself and sounding like my parents, for artists of before, just because I know what it took to get there. I remember my career has always been in Paris, to be honest. I did sing at open mics in New York and stuff, and I've flown to New York to do certain things, but that has always been from Paris. So I have formed my identity, my musical identity, and personality around being in Paris. So I can only speak from that perspective, but I've seen a huge change when I tell some of the younger kids that I used to say, I sang in that bar and I was paid, we were paid like 40 euros for the group and we got all the beer we wanted. I didn't drink beer. I'm a wine girl. So I was like, hey guys, you can have the beer. But I had some of the most incredible times of my life doing that. Some of it was hard because I had to pretend like my husband was my manager and go chase down the money. But then, I just stuck with it. So it took me around the world. It took our band around the world and we got to represent France of all places, which was hilarious to me. I then did have double nationality or dual nationality, but we went to Thailand multiple times. We worked for the Alliance Française there. We went to Vietnam. We went to Estonia, England, and so I appreciate that grind, if you will. But of course, I've tried to follow along with how things go now. And I do appreciate the fact that you don't have to rely on a major label, which was the case when I was coming up. You had to really, really, really grab their attention. You had to be the artist of all artists. And now you don't get some sort of bum contract, or you don't have to pay back $100,000 after you've made it because they incorporated that in a really bad contract, which happened to multiple friends of mine. I was never signed to a major label. We were independent. So we had that. That was a beautiful thing. So at the end of the day, the money we made was the money we made. We didn't have to answer to anyone. This being said, it's always nice to have a cushion of money so you can do marketing, so you can do all these things. And we were up there eating rice and beans and just pasta. And I was telling my mom, all was well. No, I'm fine, Mom, I'm fine, for like 5 years. She had no clue. But it, built character because I was just a little bit of a naive, we are the world type person. Really, really like everybody is going to love what we're doing and they're going to be nice. And so many doors were closed, but so many doors were open. So again, when I see artists now or people that I work with, either with major labels or without a label, I'm always fascinated by how they can get their music out there as well. And so again, yes, it's evolved in so many ways. So where you're signed, how you put your music out there. And now you don't even have to have a full band. Some are for, some are against, because of AI. So if you have those ideas and you're just, I'm doing air quotes, a singer, but you don't play an instrument, now you don't have to sort of wait on an artist, a musician to flesh those ideas out. There are pros and cons in both. Personally, for my own music, I must admit that I struggle on the social media side because I love scrolling. I have an addiction. But I do hate having to put myself out there all the time. So I'm not the greatest with it. I'm getting better because I have so many girlfriends who teach me how to do these things, or even my own kids. They're like, Mom, you have to make a video like that. So I'm always down to learn how things shift, especially when it comes to technology, because again, Gen X, I remember before computers and internet, and I remember after, and so I just think that's the beauty of someone in my position. Again, 48 years old today, 48 years young, I should say.
I love it. I'm so glad we're recording on your birthday. But yeah, things have changed so much. Like you said, you can do it on your own. You can make a TikTok and become viral. And it's crazy how much the things have changed. And what an amazing experience traveling Europe and just having all these incredible experiences. And now continuing today. So today, you're a singer, you're a songwriter, you're a vocal coach, artistic director. You were a coach for one of the Caesar Awards.
Yes.
How do these different roles feed each other?
You know what? The commonality between them all is just I am someone that goes for it. I go for it. And then afterwards, I'm like, what the hell did I just do? Did I just tell them that I was a hip hop dance teacher? I'll go back to that. And this is a little pearl for my girlfriend, my really good friend, Asha, who's also from Atlanta, who lives here and has been here for 18 years. Choreographer, dancer. She's an actual dancer, an actual choreographer, has created multiple pieces around the world, is a former Alvin Ailey dancer, just the top of her game, right? And so one thing about me is my group of artistic friends, artsy fartsy friends, they know that if I want to do something, I will figure it out. And so I remember it was during that tough period financially, I needed to grab a second job. And so I walked past a dance theater or dance company in Malakoff. And I haven't been back to Malakoff since, but it said hip hop dance teacher wanted. This was in 2001. And I walked in there. I was like, I am from Atlanta. I am a hip hop dance teacher. I had never, ever taken a formal hip hop dance class in my life. I ended up working there for 2 years. And so what did I do? I would come home and I would study videos from just Missy Elliott, just various artists. I would learn the routines. I would add my own little spice because I said, you know what? I got rhythm. I got some moves and I learned fast. And I stayed there for 2 years. So that's the common denominator. It's just that I go for it. If I think there's some sort of possibility of me doing it, adding to the list, I've been a voiceover artist for 15 years now. So that is something I love to explore, but it's all the same to me as well. It's about personality. It's about tone. It's about how you dose it out. You know what I mean? Be it dance, be it a video game that I'm doing a voiceover for. I did an audiobook with 3 other Americans, and it was incredible because I had to play 14 different characters, I think. Some only had one line and some had multiple lines. And it went everything from a Southern grandmother and from the state of Georgia to like a little child who was 8 years old. And those things are fascinating, but they all feel like me, to be honest. And I also try to communicate that as a vocal coach for people to connect to all their sides. So when I did the César Awards, that was when my kids were like 6 months old, maybe 9 months old. I'm not sure. But I had been working with a team. There's an artist here named Michael Youn. And he's an actor and a producer and a screenwriter, et cetera, musician as well. He's made some songs that I've worked on that are quite silly. But he's known for his quirky, I guess, demeanor and movies and stuff. And so I had done some stuff with his team for Canal Plus as far as songwriting and stuff like that. And so they said, hey, Crystal, we're having a Broadway type or Broadway-esque opening for the César. We've never done that before. We know you've worked with different troupes. We know you've worked with different artists. Would you be down to work with, hear me out, Cécile de France and Rosie de Palma? Now, Cécile de France was part of the list of people, including Michael Youn, that I always wanted to meet when I moved to France, but thought it was just so far away. So when I got to work with her and I got to work with Rosie, who's become a friend, it was just life-giving because they were so attentive to what I had to teach them. And because they're actors, they got it, immediately. And, but you could still see they had to come out of their comfort zone. We can't sit in that comfort zone all the time. And Cécile got out there and she killed it. And Rosie is Rosie. She's crazy. She's got so much personality. I barely had to coach her. I think we spent more time like drinking coffee than coaching. But but yeah, so I try to teach that to the students, to the choir members, because I, alongside my brother from another mother, Jua Amir from New York, we have 100-person choir. And so it's the same. We try to give them encouragement and also just tell them that nobody's judging them. That's the thing. A lot of people feel like they can't try anything because they'll be judged, especially here in France, where a lot of people, at least back in the day, it's changed a lot now. But back in the day, people would say, how can you be all those things? Oh, you're American. You guys do know how to, if you say you're a singer, then I'm sure, yes, you're a dancer, then you're this as well. But here they just really wanted to box themselves in. And I try to teach people that you don't have to just be one thing. In fact, I think it's great if you don't just do one thing. My own personal opinion. I think we're very layered. And I don't think that you can just sit up there and say, I can only do this. I'm very much I'm staring at my plants as I'm talking to you. It looks like a jungle in my apartment. I'm a plant mama. My friends, I've got 2 in a nursery over there that my friends brought because they were like 911. Plants are half dead. Can you revive them? So I take pride. I put my music on. I have a plant playlist for them, and we get at it. I change the dirt. I talk to them. I make my own potting soil mix. And so I'm great at that. And I just like that we are layered. In my opinion, I know a lot of people believe in reincarnation, and that's great. But at least in this iteration of Crystal Petit, I've only got this one form of myself. So I'm just going to explore.
Yeah, and I love what you say about layers, because I do find in France, they like you said, they're like, oh, you can only be this, only this one thing. And I think it is so important. I think we all are like multifaceted and we all do different things. And then to embrace that, it's so important. You've definitely done that.
That's right.
So what keeps you inspired about Paris after all this time?
Well, you know what? I go back to my little, I'd say 5-year-old self. And I think about the things that I loved. I visited Paris when I was 5. We had actually lived in Germany for 2 years prior to that, because my dad was stationed there. We were all stationed there. And I remember him taking me to Spain, right? We went to Barcelona. I had a great time. They pulled me on the stage and I got to do the little hand claquette thingies. There's a name for that. My best friend would kill me. She lives in Spain.
I know. I can't think of it either.
Casta something. I don't know. I loved it. I loved the beautiful dresses. I loved the food, the tapas. But there was something about Paris. When I came to Paris, every single time, be it at 5, be it at 14, it was just something that drew me to this space. And I'm going to tell you what, I found my journal at my parents' house. It was a journal that I had. I don't know what age I was, 80, 87. So yeah, 9 years old. It said, I will be a singer. I will live in Paris and I will marry a redhead. I don't know why I mentioned the redhead. Now the ex-husband, the husband is a redhead.
No way. You predicted everything.
And it's it's kind of crazy when I think about it. But I just keep coming back to this city. Now, it has its good times and bad times for me, because I will say this much. I go into seasonal depression when, I don't know, maybe December or late November to February, March hits, because I am a sunny girl, Atlanta, Georgia, the countryside. I love the sun. I love the heat. I do not do well. And these 26 years, it's the same thing. So I've gotten better with my methods and how I can keep my spirits up, and lots of vitamin D. But there's nothing like Paris to me, and I don't know that I can actually put it to words. There's a certain something here that, even though I lived in New York, I loved it. I wasn't a fan of LA. Sorry, my California buddies. LA is cool. It's fine. I love Thailand. I love Bangkok and stuff like that. But I come home to Paris and I know it's home. And I can't quite put my finger on it, but it has some sort of je ne sais quoi, some sort of magic. Now, will you find me saying that when I'm stepping on dog poop? I do not know. But I come home. I travel a lot. I travel a lot. I was in Budapest and 2 weeks ago, and then Rome. I took my kids on a surprise trip to Rome so they could discover Rome. But I still love walking through the store. I still love greeting the gardienne. I love the smell of, the smell that when you walk past bakeries and you smell croissants. I don't even eat croissants like that, but I still love to smell them. I love that I can sit in the cafe and just chill and not have anybody hanging over me. I've got my spots that I go to. I've got my community. So I think all of those ingredients together make Paris my Paris. And for now, it's still going to remain home. Where will I be in 10 years? I don't know. But I've spent much more time here now than I have actually anywhere else, which is crazy when I think about it.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, all those things add up to a home. And how do you know when you're living in alignment with your purpose? I mean, it sounds like you've done so many things. How do you know when it's working?
You know what? I go back to the notes that I've written, and it sounds simple, but it's not. Let me tell you why. Because there are so many times where I do something and I don't realize how big it was until much later. I will go back to my I'm a big notes keeper. I have, I'm looking over at my little bibliothèque, not library, bookshelf. Ooh, bookshelf 4000, Alex. Sometimes I can't remember my words. I feel like I need to hit the buzzer and be like, bookshelf. And I see just right over there, just from last year, it's like 5 notebooks. And I have a notebook for each different thing. There's accomplishments, there's things that they're my desires, if you will. There are just my everyday just train of thought without, really putting too much thought into it. There's my finances book. I write it all out by hand. So what happens is in my moments of doubt, I'd say even more than my community and my family that I've created pumping me up, which always helps. That's a big self-esteem booster. It's me going and peeping back and looking and reading word for word what the hell I wrote about, the experience, what I did, little side notes when I went back a year later saying, girl, you did that. That's amazing. Like I literally sometimes will go back and write notes to the notes, for those moments, because things aren't always rosy. You know what I mean? And life can get hard, and I can have my doubts just like anybody else. And especially heading towards chapter 50. And I say to myself, oh, well, I should be further along, or, you had this as a dream, or especially during COVID, to be honest, because any artist in Paris was out for at least 18 months. That's when you asked yourself, okay, is this the moment where I keep going and just have blind faith, if you will? Do I let it all go? This whole career that I've built, because I am a person of many skills, so I could do something else. And I come back to, no, there's nothing else you'd want to be doing. Sure, I could go work. I was a beautiful project manager, for a Web3 for Good company called Code Green with my really good friend Ina Moja, who's a singer and songwriter and United Nations land ambassador here. She was here in Paris, but now she lives with her husband in Portugal. And I excelled at that because I'm a big notes taker, and I'm a big person. I'm a person who reminds everybody of everything. So I could do it, and it was great. I traveled the world, but I never let music go. And that's when I knew I was in alignment with the little girl in me. I remember when I was 12, when we were moving house, I made one of those time capsules, and I wrote on there, I was 12, and I said, hi, my name is Crystal Donahue. That was my maiden name. It is the year whatever. These are the songs that are popular. And this is what I eat on a daily basis. I had a lot of pizza in there. I go bike riding. I thought I was a Goonie. I love the Goonies. They're up on my wall. I'm a big 80s girl. And my little brother is bugging the heck out of me. My little brother is now 40. And I buried it in the ground, and they put cement over it because we built a pool.
Oh my gosh.
So I just go back to those thoughts. I apparently was like singing and dancing to the rhythm, according to my Aunt Oma, who named me Crystal, before I could talk. So I cannot allow myself to do anything other than, be someone who expresses herself through her voice. And for me, that is the final test of whether or not I'm in alignment with myself and with my dreams.
Yeah, no, oh my gosh, I love everything about this. The whole thing, it all connects. And like you said, taking notes, I think all of us need to do a little bit more journaling. I think it helps in so many ways.
It sure does.
So if you could leave listeners with one message about courage, creativity, and following their own path, what would it be?
Well, I would say to them that your path, your timeline is not my path or my timeline. We cannot compare. At my beautiful age of 48, and still out there doing new things, still going for those old dreams and creating new dreams. So again, it may take you the time it takes you, but as long as you're still staying in the game, quote unquote, meaning you're still interested in whatever it is you may be doing, doesn't have to be the arts, because creativity spreads to all domains. As long as you keep at it, And when you don't feel like doing it that day, put it down, or that week, put it down, but come back to it and pat yourself on the back. I would say then you're doing great. Also, if you could have, I think it helps when you have your tribe or your community that kind of keeps things in check for you sometimes, and you do the same for them. How's that show coming along? Well, what do you mean you can't do it because you don't have $100,000? We'll start at, a local cafe. Things like that. That has been really my key to success as well, is having those checks and balances, because I consider myself, and I've been called, I'm kind of like a godmother / the Google of Anglophone artists in Paris, the go-to person. I was just tagged by my school like 12 times today on Facebook as being in Paris because they're coming. Some friends are coming, or people I don't know, but of the school. And so it's nice to have that in return. And so I would say build your community. Community is key. We're going to need it more than ever. And just really, 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 really give yourself grace, give yourself time. Don't compare yourself to anybody, because you are you and there is no other you.
I love that. I mean, I think that is such a beautiful note to end on. And where can people connect with you and listen to your music and learn more?
Oh, so easy, because I'm just going to be honest and say I'm really crap at keeping up my website. So find me on Instagram, which is just instagram.com/Crystal Petit, Petit. I post there all the time. I answer all the time. And then I put up any concert dates right there. So that's really my go-to.
Fantastic. Well, we'll share all that in the show notes, and I can't wait to see what you'll do next.
Yay. Thank you so much. I love your name, by the way.
It's a great name.
Friend, you